Otherwise, I'm going to remove that from the courtroom. I'm going to remove, if no one does that, I'm going to remove that number from the courtroom. And Mr. Keeler, you're not able to get your video going, are you?
I'm working on it, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to ask all counsel, if you can, if your case is called and you don't have another case, to please just remain in the courtroom. You can turn off your video and mute in case there's scheduling issues we might want to consult with you on with other attorneys based on that. So if you would indulge us and stay in the courtroom, virtual courtroom, until the status is complete. So will the clerk start with the first case, please?
This is Supreme Court case number CRA 24-023, People of Guam Plaintiff Appellant v. Arthur U. San Agustin and Masatomo Nado Defendants Appellees. Appearing for Plaintiff Appellant is Attorney Emily L.A. Reese. Appearing for Defendant Appellee Arthur U. San Agustin is Attorney Joaquin Arreola Jr. Appearing for Defendant Appellee Masatomo Nado is Attorney G. Patrick Seville. The panel consists of Chief Justice Robert J. Torres, Associate Justice F. Philip Carbolito, and Associate Justice Catherine A. Merriman.
Good morning, counsel. Briefing in this case is complete. There are no pending motions. The panel consists of myself, Justice Carbolito, and Justice Merriman. Is someone here from Mr. Seville's office? There's no one here from
He
Mr.
is here in the courtroom. One moment, please, Your Honor.
Your Honor, Mr. Seville is in the courtroom, but someone from his office, Dean Manglotnia, will be logging in soon.
Okay. All right. Mr. Seville was used to the old version of status and disqualifications. All right. So first, an oral argument in this matter is scheduled for August 18th at 10 a.m. in the morning. Any objection to the panel as constituted or the date and time of oral argument, Ms. Reese?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Arreola, I presume you're appearing for Mr. San Agustin right now, not Mr. Brennan?
That is correct, Your Honor. Thank you and good morning.
Good morning. And any objection to the panel as constituted date and time of oral argument?
We do have an objection to the date and time of oral argument. We do not have any objection to disqualification of any of the justices.
And what is the issue with the 18th, Mr. Arreola?
Three matters, Your Honor. We'd like to have addressed by the court. We intend to file a motion to dismiss the appeal and a motion to disqualify the Office of the Attorney General from prosecuting the appeal. We'd ask for 1 week to file that motion by next Friday. We would also be asking this court to take judicial notice of certain excerpts of record in the appeal of People versus Ibanez et al., which is also before this court today. And we would lastly be asking for a continuance of the oral argument based on the motions to be filed, as well as based on my availability during the August month.
All right. Would you proceed with filing the motions then? And the court will entertain those, assuming if they get filed, of course, the Attorney General's office would have an opposition period and then the reply brief. So it's unlikely that it will make the August calendar. But when you file the motions, the court will address that at that time. And in the motion also, if you put in there your date, your availability in August, Mr. Arreola, so the court is aware of that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Is Mr. Manglotnia logged on now? Is Mr. Seville still in the courtroom?
No.
Okay,
Mr. Manglone is not logged on yet, and Mr. Seville is not here.
okay. All right, we will move on, and Mr. Manglonia comes back. We'll come back to him on behalf of defendant Nadeau. Will the clerk please call the next case?
This is CRA 24-021, People of Guam Plaintiff Appellee v. Timothy Tatautal Sarabora, Defendant Appellant. Appearing for Defendant Appellant is Attorney Shannon Titano. Appearing for Plaintiff Appellee is Attorney Emily L.A. Reese. The panel consists of Chief Justice Robert J. Torres, Associate Justice F. Philip Carbolito, and Associate Justice Catherine A. Merriman.
You've heard the panel has constituted. A reply brief in this matter is due on July 15th. There are no pending motions. Oral argument this case is scheduled for August 19th at 10 a.m. Any objection to the time of oral argument or the panel has constituted, Ms. Titano
No objection, Your Honor.
and Ms. Reese?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, so that will proceed then on the 19th at 10 a.m. And if you don't have any further cases, you can, as I indicated, just stick around. You can turn off your video and audio if you prefer, or stay on, either way. Will the clerk please call the next case?
This is, wait, one moment, please, Your Honor. Sorry, Trina. Your Honor, I think Justice Carbolito dropped out. We lost him.
All right, go ahead and call the next case, and hopefully he'll get back on in a moment.
Okay, this is
And we'll
CRA 24-025, People of Guam Plaintiff Appellee v. Luis Anthony Vargas, Defendant Appellant. Appearing for Defendant Appellant is Attorney Stephen P. Hattori. Appearing for Plaintiff Appellee is Attorney Emily L.A. Reese. The panel consists of Chief Justice Robert J. Torres, Associate Justice F. Philip Carbolito, and Associate Justice Catherine A. Merriman.
The appellee's brief in this, you've heard the panel is constituted. The appellee's brief in this matter is July the 9th, and the reply brief will be due 14 days after the appellee's brief. There are no pending motions. An oral argument in this matter is scheduled for August 20th at 10 a.m. Mr. Hattori, any objection to the date and time of oral argument?
No, Your Honor, and we did receive the government's
Yes,
brief.
I just noticed that came across my desk this morning as well, so that's already been filed.
So
And
we have no
what about,
objections to the panel as constituted.
okay, and
Or the
Ms.
date.
Reese?
Thanks.
Your Honor,
I believe this
Tenorio
is
for
Ms.
the people.
Tenorio's case.
Okay,
Yes, Your Honor. Christine Tenorio for the people. No objection to the panel or to the date.
all right. Thank you both, and we'll acknowledge that Ms. Tenorio is the one for the appellee in this matter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, will the Justice Carbolito get back in?
Justice Carbolito said, please proceed, and he'll join when he can get reconnected.
Your Honor,
Okay.
he's having trouble with his connection, and he said that he will join as soon as he can, but to proceed.
All right, so will the clerk please call then the next case?
This is CVA 24-007, Government of Guam, Joseph M. Borja, in his official capacity as Director of Land Management, and Guam Waterworks Authority, a Guam public corporation, plaintiff counterclaim defendants appellants, v. Cortec International Corporation, Unix Enterprises Corporation, defendants counterclaimants appellees. Appearing for plaintiff's counterclaim are attorneys Thomas P. Keeler and Stephen M. Durden. Appearing for plaintiff's counterclaim defendants appellants, Government of Guam, and Joseph M. Borja, are attorneys Thomas P. Keeler and Stephen M. Durden. Appearing for plaintiff counterclaim defendant appellant, Guam Waterworks Authority, are attorneys Vincent Edward Leon Guerrero, Teresa G. Rojas, and Ronnie Jacob. Appearing for defendant counterclaim appellee Cortec International Corporation is Attorney Vanessa L. Williams. Appearing, amicus curiae, the Honorable Lourdes A. Leon Guerrero y Magalahan Guahan, is Attorney Leslie Travis and Jeffrey Moots. Appearing for amicus curiae y Mina 38 na legislatura en Guahan is Attorney Peter C. Perez. Appearing for amicus curiae Public Utilities Commission of Guam is Attorney Frederick J. Harecki. And appearing for the Center for Water Security and Cooperation is Attorney Meenakshi V. Hamlani. The panel consists of Chief Justice Robert J. Torres, Associate Justice F. Philip Carbolito, and Associate Justice Catherine A. Merriman.
Thank you. And Attorney Luke Wilson is also here for the Center for Water Security and Cooperation. The reply brief in this matter is due on July 18th. Amicus curiae have filed a joint request to participate in oral argument and requesting no more than 12 minutes to allocate amongst themselves. The court will grant the joint request to participate in oral argument, allocating 12 minutes amongst the four amici. And the court will also grant Cortec an additional 10 minutes at oral argument to compensate for the 12 minutes that's going to be allocated for them. Mr. Keeler and Mr. Leon Guerrero or Mr. Jacob, who will be, first, Mr. Keeler, who will be arguing the case for the government of Guam and Joseph Borja? You're muted, Mr. Keeler.
Thank you, Your Honor. One counsel that wasn't recognized is Emily Reese of the AG's office. And I believe she'll be primarily responsible for responding.
At oral argument, she'll be the one to do the oral argument?
That's my understanding, Your Honor. I was just recently appointed to the case.
Okay, so we will acknowledge that. And if that changes, please let us know. And then what about on behalf of the Guam Water Works Authority?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'll be arguing at Rodney Jacob for GWA.
Okay. And you'll have to split your time between both of you, the 30 minutes?
Yes, Your Honor. And we've begun discussions about that, and we will have a proposal, and hopefully the court will accept it as we get closer to the hearing.
We'll allow you to allocate the time between both plaintiff, counterclaim defendants, appellants as you desire, but just alert the court so we can plan accordingly.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So is oral argument in this matter is going to be August 22nd, 2025 at 10 a.m. Is there any objection to the panel as constituted or the date and time of oral argument on behalf of defendant appellants, Government of Guam and Joseph M. Borja? First of all, Mr. Keeler or Ms. Reese?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. And on behalf of Guam Water Works Authority?
No objection, Your Honor.
And on behalf of defendant counterclaim and appellee Cortec International Corporation, Ms. Williams?
There's no objection to the panel as constituted, Your Honor, but I do have an objection to the date and time based on a bench trial I have scheduled on the same date and time.
And the bench trial is before the Superior Court of Guam?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, the court, just hang on and we'll see if we can, what date would you be available if we're not able to do it on that Friday? And also we'd have to check other counsels.
Any other date within the following month except for September 3rd, Your Honor.
What about that week? Can you do it on the Thursday?
No, Your Honor, my trial.
Go ahead.
I apologize. Your Honor, the trial starts on the 21st, so it'll be the 21st and 22nd.
What about August 29th?
I'm available, Your Honor.
All right, how about other councils on August 29th?
I am also available, Your Honor, with the government of Guam.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Reese.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Jacob?
Your Honor, I have a conflict, but if I can move that, I'm just looking at something. I can move that and would request the 29th, so we can argue this.
All right, we'll see if we can keep the 29th date. We don't, Mr. Wilson or Meenakshi, I don't know if you're going to be arguing this on behalf of the amici.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
yourselves.
And I wanted to thank you for granting our request to participate in oral argument. We don't have an objection to the date of the hearing. However, may I also request for Mr. Wilson to appear virtually? He'll be presenting argument.
I'll speak with the other justices. I don't think they have an objection. Justice Carbolito, to Mr. Wilson
I'm sorry,
presenting on behalf of the amici virtually.
No, I have no objection to that, but what date? I got dropped off, and so.
We're looking at the 29th of August. We have a case also on that day, but there's currently motions that have been filed in that case, and that's Mr. Fisher's case, and we can talk about that. And if anything, we can have it in the afternoon on the 29th.
Yeah, this is a big case. I would request that we have this as solely on that day.
Right.
That whatever dates we agree to. So the 29th, I assume that the Fisher Tiedegree case will drop off.
Yeah.
Will drop.
It likely will.
And in light of that, I have no objection.
Justice Merriman?
I have no objection to his appearance virtually.
And also, okay, and the 29th were available, of course, because we had that scheduled. All right, we will plan on having this case right now at 10 a.m. on the 29th. And so, thank you, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Will the clerk please call the next case?
This is CVA 25-002, Wayson W.S. Wong, Plaintiff Appellee, v. Seifert Limited, and Leonard Francis Gill, aka Francis Gill, Defendants Appellants. Appearing for Defendants Appellants is Attorney Curtis C. Vandeveld. Appearing for Plaintiff Appellee is Attorney Wayson W.S. Wong. The panel consists of Chief Justice Robert J. Torres, Associate Justice F. Philip Carbolito, and Associate Justice Catherine A. Merriman.
You've heard the panel as constituted. Oral argument in this matter is scheduled for August 25th at 10 a.m. The appellee's brief is due July 25th. A reply brief will be due 14 days thereafter, but at least 14 days before the oral argument. There is a pending motion for reconsideration of the order denying the motion to dismiss, and the court has that on its radar. Any objection to the panel as constituted or the date and time of oral argument, Mr. Vandervelde?
No, Your Honor, none on behalf of the appellant relative to the constitution of the panel, but relative to the date of oral argument, that is a time I will be unavailable due to I'm traveling for a 50-year family reunion of my mother's family, and it's travel I've planned now for several months.
Are you available the week before?
No, I'm not. I will. I'm going to be requesting it be rescheduled sometime between the 8th and the 12th of September.
We'll have to work with you and the clerk on that, Mr. Vandervelde.
Understood.
When are you leaving Guam?
I leave on the 9th of August.
Okay.
And Your Honor, it will give me an opportunity to get the reply brief filed 14 days beforehand. It's a really tight schedule the way that it's set now.
All right. And then we have the other case as well that's pending. And so I'll have the clerk call that case now. as well. But before she does that, let me hear from Mr. Wong on the panel as constituted.
Good morning again, Your Honor. I have no objection to the panel as constituted.
And what about the dates that were proposed by Mr. Vanderwell? I don't think they'll work for the court, but we'll have to see, or we might have to push this further back in our, and have it maybe in our October session as opposed to the September session.
I have problems with any October session. I'll be traveling also, but I have no problems with the September or an earlier October session before the 13th of October. I leave for about a month.
All right. We'll have the clerk coordinate with both of you and the justice's schedule, and then we'll see what we can do in terms of that. All right. Will the clerk please call the next case as well?
Your Honor, might I inquire, do you have any idea how soon the court may be ruling on the motion for reconsideration?
I don't have a timetable for you, Mr. Vanderbilt.
Understood. Thank you, Mr. Chief Justice. Thank you, Justice.
All right. Will the clerk please call the next case?
Your Honor, I have a request though. Can
Yes.
Mr. Vanderbilt and I leave this particular hearing because we have
Well, you're on the next case. 25004.
That's fine.
Will the clerk please call that case?
This is CVA 25-004, Francis Gill and Seyfried Limited, Plaintiffs' Appellants v. Wason W.S. Wong and Does 1 through 90, inclusive Defendants' Appellees. Appearing for Plaintiffs' Appellants is Attorney Curtis E. Vandeveld. Appearing for Defendant Appellee is Attorney Wason W.S. Wong. The panel consists of Chief Justice Robert J. Torres, Associate Justice F. Philip Carbolito, and Associate Justice Catherine A. Merriman.
And the appellee's brief in this case is due July 25th, and the reply brief is due 14 days thereafter. You've heard the panel is constituted. We originally had oral arguments scheduled in this matter on August 26, 2025, but in light of the disclosure by Mr. Vanderveld, that date will likely be vacated, and the court will work with counsels on looking at a new date. Any objection to the panel as constituted?
None on behalf of my clients, Your Honor.
Your Honor, Wason Wong, no objection.
All right. And the clerk will be in touch with both of you after we look at the justice's schedule and our oral argument calendar and make a determination as to when an appropriate date and time for oral argument will be on both those cases.
Thank you.
And Mr. Wong, you wanted to say something before we move on?
Rather than wait around for the other cases to be discussed, may Mr. Vanderbilt and I please be excused.
You can.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Since both of you will not be affecting the August calendar at all. Mr. Seville has now joined us. Mr. Seville, are you still there?
Okay.
Or did you leave? He was there. All right, well, we'll move on. And will the clerk please call the next case?
This is CRA 24-024, People of Guam Plaintiff Appellant v. Richard Y. Ibanez, Jennifer Better Cruz, Alejo C. Sablan, Kevin J.T. Siswico, and Anthony P. Chargoloff, Defendants' Appellees. Appearing for Plaintiff Appellant is Attorney Stephen M. Durden. Appearing for Defendant Appellee Richard Y. Ibanez is Attorney Louis Anza. Appearing for Defendant Appellee Jennifer Bader Cruz is Stephen P. Hattori. Appearing for Defendant's Appellee Alejo C. Sablan is Attorney Joaquin C. Areola Jr. Appearing for Defendant Appellee Kevin J.T. Siswico is Attorney Peter J. Santos. Appearing for Defendant Appellee Anthony P. Chargoloff is Attorney Michael F. Phillips. The panel consists of Chief Justice Robert J. Torres, Associate Justice F. Philip Carbolito, and Associate Justice Catherine A. Merriman.
Okay, Mr. Phillips is not in the courtroom. Is anyone here from Mr. Phillips's office? And did we get any communication from Mr. Phillips about his non-appearance at the status?
The clerk's office did not, Your Honor.
Okay, we should issue, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and Attorney Seville logged on. He thought his case was concluded, logged off, but we've advised him to log back on.
All right.
And I will, and I know what I understand about your issue an OSC, Your Honor.
Yes, for Mr. Phillips.
Yes.
You've heard, Pelly's brief in this matter is due July 22nd. The reply brief will be due 14 days after the service of Pelly's brief. There are no pending motions currently in this matter, and we have oral arguments scheduled on August 27, 2025 at 10 a.m. And you've heard the panel is constituted, which is myself, Justice Carbolito, and Justice Merriman. Attorney for the government, Ms. Reese, are you going to be handling this case?
Yes, Your Honor, that will be me. And no, I have no objection either to the panel or the date of oral argument.
All right, and Mr. Yanza? Someone here from Mr.
Morning, Your
Yanza's
Honor.
office?
Your Honor, I'm appearing for Attorney
George,
Yanza on this
yes.
matter. And we have no objection to the date or the panel, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hattori?
Your Honor, we have no objection to the date or the panel as constituted.
Mr. Ariola?
Thank you, Your Honors. We have no objection to the panel as constituted. We do have an objection to the hearing oral argument proposed. Defendant Alejo Sablan does intend to file a motion to dismiss, as well as a motion to disqualify the Office of the Attorney General from the further appeal or prosecution of this matter. We will also be filing a request for judicial notice of the record, certain excerpts of record in the other appeal, People versus Arthur St. Augustine and Masatomo Nado, and asking that the oral argument in this matter, scheduled for August 27, be continued pending filing of those motions. Our intent is to file those motions within 1 week, by next Friday. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Ariola. And when you file those motions, the court will act appropriately and will likely vacate the oral argument dates in light of that. But we'll wait until the motions are filed and evaluate them. Mr. Santos, on behalf of defendant appellee Kevin Soswico.
No objection to the panel and no objection to the date, with the acknowledgement that it may be vacated.
All right, thank you, Mr. Santos. All right, thank you. We have one more case. Will the clerk please call that last case?
This is CVA 25-006.
Oh, no, we have two more cases. I'm sorry. We also have the Fisher-Titagu case.
Port Authority of Guam Plaintiff Appellee v. Guam Industrial Services, Inc., doing business as Guam Shipyard Defendant Appellant. Appearing for Defendant Appellant is Attorney George Neil P. Valdez. Appearing for Plaintiff Appellee is Attorney James L. Canto. The panel consists of Chief Justice Robert J. Torres, Associate Justice F. Philip Carbolito, and Associate Justice Catherine A. Merriman.
You've heard the panel is constituted. The appellee's brief will be due on July 23rd. And the reply brief will be due 14 days after service of the appellee's brief, but at least 14 days before argument. Oral argument in this matter is scheduled for Thursday, August 28th at 10 a.m. Any objection to the date and time of oral argument, or the panel is constituted? Mr. Valdez?
Your Honor, no objection to the panel and no objection to the date for oral argument.
And Mr. Canto?
Good morning, Your Honor. Port Authority has no objection to the panel as constituted, nor to the date and time of oral argument.
All right, so we'll plan on proceeding on August 27th at 10 a.m. I mean, excuse me, August 28th at 10 a.m.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, will the clerk please call the last case?
This is CVA 25-001, Thomas J. Fisher In his personal and official capacity as Senator of the 37th Guam Legislature, Petitioner Appellee, Vitello Taitigui, in her official capacity as a Senator of the 37th Guam Legislature, Respondent Appellant. Appearing for Respondent Appellant is Attorney N. Lee Miller. Appearing for Petitioner Appellee is Attorney Rachel Taimanao Azuzu. The panel consists of Chief Justice Robert J. Torres, Associate Justice F. Philip Carbolito, and Associate Justice Catherine A. Merriman.
The appellee's brief is due on July 25th, and a reply brief is due 14 days after service of the appellee's brief, but at least 14 days before oral argument. The court realizes that there has been a motion to disqualify the office of the Attorney General in this matter, and the opposition from the government would be due next Friday to that motion, and then the reply due the Friday after that, which would then be the 25th, which would be the same time the appellee's brief is currently scheduled to be filed. Is there any objection to the panel as constituted? And we will vacate the August 29th, 2025 oral argument date. We're going to hear the Cortec appeal on that day, and the GWA Cortec appeal on that day. And we will look to schedule this for another time, perhaps in our August session, depending on the court's resolution of the motion to disqualify. Any objection to the panel as constituted on behalf of the, for the government? Who's appearing for the government in this case?
Your Honor, I believe that's Attorney Miller. I don't see him on here.
Yeah, he has not appeared. Will you handle this for him so we don't issue an OSC to him?
Yeah, I can. Well, there's no objection on behalf of our office.
All right. Okay, and what about you, Ms. Taimanao Azuzu?
Good morning, Your Honor. No objection to the panel as constituted, and an acknowledgement that the court has vacated the August 29th oral arguments hearing, and we will await the court's rescheduling of that hearing. I will note, Your Honor, that the dates for appellee's brief has been instituted based on the court's order, prior order lifting a stay, and it falls within the period of time that I will be traveling for previously scheduled personal travel. And I anticipate that I will be asking for a 14-day extension under Rule 17C, just to ensure that I'm able to be in the office and get our brief in as a complete document, Your Honor. And also, I will note that my client, Mr. Fisher, Attorney Fisher, is in a Zoom room at the court. He can't turn on his video, and I'm assuming that he is using the court's equipment to participate in the hearing.
All right, thank you. We'll take that, and you can make the appropriate request with the court for the extension. The court has to entertain the pending motion to disqualify first, and when we do so, we'll address the issue of oral argument.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome back, Mr. Seville. We'll go back to your case. So we're back on the record on CRA 24-023 people versus San Agustin and Nadeau. You got used to the old-fashioned way of showing up at status, Mr. Seville.
Your Honor, apparently I didn't get used to the old-fashioned way of reading the notices, but I do want to say that both yesterday afternoon and driving to court this morning, I said, you know, I can't believe that Justice Torres, with all your technical tendencies, is doing this live. This should be by Zoom. And anyway, my apologies.
That's right. You were at least showed up at the courtroom and didn't get an OSC, Mr. Seville.
Thank you.
So what you did miss, unless you were in the courtroom, is that Mr. Ariola indicated he was going to be filing a motion to disqualify the Attorney General's office and from a proceeding and a motion to dismiss this case. And the court will likely vacate that argument date. We want to see the motion first. And so we will likely vacate that argument date. But we wanted to hear from you on the panel as constituted as myself, Justice Carbolito and Justice Merriman. Any objection to the panel as constituted, Mr. Seville, on behalf of your client, Mr. Nadeau?
None whatsoever, Your Honor.
All right. And once Mr. Ariola files the motion, the court will act in terms of addressing the oral arguments dates that's currently scheduled in that matter.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you all to all counsel that are stayed on for the duration of this hearing. We appreciate you doing so. And we look forward to the arguments coming up. I'm going to ask everyone to please leave. And I'm going to set up a separate conference for Justice Merriman, Justice Carbolito, and myself, a separate Teams meeting that will be in. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Your Honor.